that to me is the growth. But Steve Young on the 49ers podcast, 49ers Talk podcast with Matt Mayoko and Jilly Chen, does he believe, Steve Young, the great one, that last year was their best chance to win a Super Bowl?
Last year, the Rams are down. The whole division's down. Seahawks are down. The Cardinals are way down. In the playoffs, you play a Packer team that's been middling the whole time. You got to up and start Lions squad. You're like, that's how we get to the Super Bowl, and then you play a down year Chiefs team. Like, of all the times that you're set up to do it, that was it. But since the Ravens at Christmas, I mean, we just weren't the same. And, we held Patrick Mahomes to 19 points. You would have told me, look, Patrick Mahomes won't score 3 touchdowns. We're not going to win that game. Like, you're not going to walk over the Packers. We're not going to walk over the Lions. Like, things were haywire from Christmas on, and that's why last year was the time with the best roster in football to go get it done. And the fact is, it didn't happen. That happens. It happened to me. I get that. But now next year, I think the Rams will be better. I think that Marvin Harris will make the Cards better. The Seahawks will be better. The Lions will be. The Packers will be better. Like, it's going to get better, and we're probably not. I don't know if we'll get better, but hopefully we stay the same and still beat the rank and file with this amazing roster we have and the way that we are innovative. We deploy the guys on offense. Then yeah, great. What just happened was a big miss. It was too bad.
Is that a big miss? Is that one miss we're going to come back and look at and say, damn? Kind of like the Niners when they lost to the Ravens, like, damn, that was our best chance. Or maybe it was 2011. It was like, damn, that was our best chance, but Kyle Williams kind of fumbled it away. Was that our best chance? Like, are we going to look back?
But it's true.
Are we going to look back at last season saying, we had a golden opportunity?
I mean, every year. Yes, I do think it was one of their best shots. I don't think this year is going to be easy. I don't think it gets easier at all. I think it gets harder. I'm with Steve Young on that. That doesn't mean it can't happen.
No,
right?
No doubt.
And like, we also don't know what ends up happening around the league, because I'm looking around the league like we're all expecting Detroit to take another step forward. It's hard to go from a 12 or 13 win team to a 14 or 15 win team.
Doubt.
Now, they might be more efficient. There's a lot. They might have the number 1 seed. Like, things happen. The Niners didn't really grasp the number 1 seed until after the whole Eagles thing. Like,
right.
The Eagles were the top
debacle.
dog. And it's hard to pick yourself back up after a Super Bowl loss. All that is so real. But we just also don't know what ends up happening around the league. I didn't see Tampa Bay being as good as they were.
But they will get better.
Agreed.
And that's to Steve Young's point. Green Bay will be better. Chicago will be better. Philadelphia will be better. McDonald, the Ravens defensive coordinator, now the head coach of Seattle. Guess what? I feel like they're going to be a bit better. Anybody think the Rams are going to be better without Aaron Donald? We'll see. Offensively, they look good on paper. Blake Corum, Kerryon Johnson, Cooper Kupp, Puka, the rest of the crew. Arizona, will they be better? Feels like they will. Let's go to Bert and Benicia. Bert has some Niner expectations here on the Morning Roast. What up, Bert?
What's up? I think last year was that year. Coming off of the Eagles game, losing Brock the way that we did, how pissed off everyone was and, like, in disbelief. And they kind of had that drive, like, if he was healthy, like, we'd be back. And then you go through the season, you start hot, you lose 3 in a row, you kind of come out of that rut, and everything's building. The comeback against the Packers, you come back against Detroit, and then you get the team. Like, I wanted the Chiefs, to be honest. Like, I want Mahomes. I want that rematch. Last year was the year to do it. After everything that happened, losing to the Rams in the NFC Championship, losing to the Eagles in the NFC Championship, after losing to the Chiefs, you get back to the big game with this lineup, with everybody healthy, with everybody hungry, and then that happens. And you don't score 24 points in regulation to win the game. You get held to under 20, just like you hold the Chiefs to under 20. And that was like the year. Last summer, I put a $500 bet on the Niners to win the Bowl last summer because I was like, this is it. This is our year. To be honest, and I hate to say this feels like one of those years where I have a divisional first-round loss.
Wow.
I mean, let's let it play out. I hear what he's saying.
But you know what, though? To his point, and I'm not even trying to be negative and down and out, but I'm having a tough time. We talked about the journey last season, the journey to get through Philadelphia and to get to Las Vegas. I'm having a difficult time kind of conjure up that energy to say, okay, boom, we're back. Last year's loss in the Super Bowl has lingered a lot longer than I wanted it to.
Did they click way too early in general last year?
No, I don't think so. I think they did what they had to do. You got that number 1 seed. You had home field advantage against an unproven quarterback in Jordan Love and an unproven Detroit Lions team. So it's set up perfectly for them.
So, but I think all Niner fans can agree. Like, okay, whether you think they played their best football against the Cowboys or against the Eagles later on in the year, they weren't the same Baltimore on.
Oh, yeah. No, okay. Going into the Baltimore game, they were not the same.
So what happened?
Play better defenses.
Okay. Like, did they do something different, though?
I don't think they did anything differently. I think teams were just covered. They outplayed the 49ers for most of the quarters. I don't know what changed. It's a great question. I don't know what changed. Maybe they had more tape on Brock. Maybe more tape on Shanahan. Maybe they knew, hey, the Niners love the middle of the field. Let's take that away.
It's interesting.
Maybe we need to press them, press their wide receivers. They can't gain separation because the Baltimore game was like a bunch of ghosts. I mean, oh my gosh, the Baltimore game was a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. I don't know what changed from that point on, but I guess going into this season, knowing that, damn, we just blew a golden opportunity. I know the Rams will be better. Hell, I'm watching Patrick Mahomes throw 50-yard passes to Xavier Worthy, and I'm putting my face in my hand thinking, hey, anybody beat Kansas City in the AFC? Well, so I'm thinking about all these things here, and I'm saying to myself, Shasky, how do I muster up the energy to buckle up, get to another riveting regular season, knowing that you can win 11 games and it's not going to mean nothing around here. Well, you can win 12 games around here. It's not, if the Niners hang another division banner, Shasky, it won't mean a damn thing. Look, the only thing that matters going into the season, and you know this, is hoisting the Lombardi.
I know.
And that's tough to deal with.
But you have to take the steps there. So like we can have our eyes on the big prize, but you can't get too ahead of yourself. You got to go one step at a time. And I think that a lot of these guys understand that just getting there and preserving yourself on the route there is the most important. So I'm thinking about like what went awry last year. And to me, the number one thing was like, if we're being fully transparent, all year long, their D-line wasn't even close to what we are accustomed to seeing. Did they play good defense? I thought they did. They were good. They weren't close to the elite defense they were in years past. I didn't think they were as suffocating. The numbers might suggest a lot. I didn't get the same, wow, this is Nick Bosa, putting his imprint on this game, putting his thumb on the scale. Right. I never felt like that defensive line suffocated anyone back half of the season. I think their secondary is going to be better this year than they were last year. I think losing Talanoa was a big loss.
Huge.
And I think that they're older, they're hungrier. I look at the D-line, and I look at Bosa in particular. If I told you Bosa has a monster year, and he is wrecking shop like we think he can, I think that they can be a better football team overall. The record may not be better, but I think for the playoffs and closing down the stretch, I think if they can get the pass rush back to where it was, that to me could be the differentiator. They may not be as efficient offensively. Heck, even Christian McCaffrey might have a slight downtick. And if that defense is better and they're playing more complementary football, I think that is the difference.
Malik Collins is a good addition from Houston. Leonard Floyd is a really good addition from Buffalo. We know what Leonard Floyd brings to the table opposite of Nick Bosa. I think he may be the most consistent edge rusher opposite of Nick Bosa since D Ford before he broke down. Yetur Gross-Matos is a role guy. We've talked about him a little bit here. Jordan Elliott is another role guy for this defensive line. And then there's Drake Jackson wearing number 95. Drake Jackson had the 3 sacks against Pittsburgh. And maybe he stayed in Pittsburgh. Maybe he stayed to watch the Pitt Panther game. Maybe he stayed in Pittsburgh. He's one of those hot roast beef sandwiches. I don't know. But after the Pittsburgh game, Drake Jackson was MIA. And we didn't hear from him the rest of the year, in which the Niners had to go out and go pick up Randy Gregory and Chase Young. So is there anything on the table? Is there anything left for Drake Jackson? You got Nick Bosa opposite you.
I think it starts with Bosa.
You have to, but I'm just looking at Drake, who's a second-round pick, right?
No, he's
second-round pick. He's very important. Leonard Floyd is a veteran. Maybe he can learn from Leonard Floyd. Maybe he could get better by watching Leonard Floyd, being a veteran instead of being around Randy Gregory and Chase Young, guys who are looking to get paid and get theirs. Leonard Floyd has been in this league for a long time. Can he learn from Leonard Floyd and get better in that department, Drake Jackson? Because you're right, the D-line did They did suffer.
It felt like there just like a revolving door of like, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. I mean, they went Randy Gregory early in the season, and then they had to go Chase Young. I felt like both guys were,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you got the Chase Young game in the Super Bowl. Like, hey, that was a phenomenal game from him in the Super Bowl. But if we're being 100% candid, I don't think anybody thought he was a great addition. If we look at the totality of his Niner tenure.
Yeah. I just, and by the way, I say Kerryon Johnson. I'm thinking of the old Auburn running back, Kyron Williams, guy from the Rams. Yeah, Notre Dame guy. He's legit. Kerryon Johnson's a running back from Auburn. I'm thinking about for some reason. I don't know what made me think about him. I don't even think he's in the league. Where's he in Detroit? Did he get drafted by Detroit?
I think so. Maybe you're thinking of like legends in NCAA football.
So, yeah, I did play NCAA football until like 3:30 Saturday night.
I want to go back to Bosa because
like so good.
When I think of the great defensive line players or outside linebackers of the last, let's just say 10 years or so, like J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, those guys are immovable forces no matter who's around them. And when they want to put their imprint on the game, no one can do anything to slow them down or stop them. I just think Bosa didn't have a great year. Like by the Bosa metric, not by other people's metrics.
No, it wasn't good.
By grading on a Bosa curve. Like
it wasn't good.
He's an all-timer. And so you have to play like an all-timer. And I want to see him play with his hair on fire this year. And if I told you Bosa gets back to being the 15 to 20 sack guy, doesn't that kind of change a lot for this team?
It does. It does. But he's going to have to prove it by beating more doubles and triples again. Now, can Leonard Floyd command the amount of attention that can distract other, saying, hey, maybe he sees single coverage. Maybe he benefits from the gravity of Nick Bosa. That's one thing at the opposite edge, whether it was Chase Young or Randy Gregory, Jake Jackson, they did not take advantage of Kerryon Johnson was a Niner for a week. Is that right? They didn't take advantage of the gravity from Nick Bosa. And so Nick Bosa saw a lot of doubles. Yeah, it helps a lot if Nick Bosa gets 15 to 20 sacks, so you can force some turnovers here, and you can help out this secondary. No doubt about that. But offensively, something also happened to the 49ers. It was more of a grind offensively. The explosives, obviously in the playoffs, teams get better. You're playing top-of-the-line defenses in the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. But it became a grind for that offense, and the turnover bug started to plague them at times. Offensively, what's that next step for them, especially if Brandon Ayuk is not around here?